The narcissist in your life will run away for good if you do these to them. Welcome to another episode where we will uncover everything about narcissists. Let me begin by asking you to join me in a warm welcome. Thank you very much for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. If you're new here, I assure you that there is no better time than now to subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell button so that you will be notified when I upload a new video. Your support has helped me grow my channel, so thank you. Here you'll learn how to deal with a narcissist without hurting yourself. You won't want to miss this, so let's get this started. Without further ado, here are surefire methods for letting a narcissist know who's in charge. However, you should know a few things before attempting to put down a narcissist. You should be aware that confronting a narcissist may make you a target. Because of this, make sure your body can handle every stressful situation that might happen if you're determined to go that route. Most likely, the stronger you are, the more likely they will flee with their tails wagging. While it may seem like a good idea at first, it's important to remember that the narcissist will be able to tell right away that you're weak and will go out of their way to hurt you. So, make sure you don't show any sign of weakness in front of them. Make sure you're aware of what you're doing here. Keep going, no matter what you end up doing. Because narcissists are predators, it's your responsibility to ensure that you don't appear appetizing to them. Here are some of the best strategies to deal with a narcissist, so let's get to it. First, do not react, even if it is difficult or even if it is remotely difficult. Make sure emotional reactions or outward signs of any kind were completely absent from the scene. The last thing you need is to put yourself in a position where you could be hurt by someone dangerous when talking about master manipulators. Please don't give them anything they can use against you either. Then, what about it? Poker face. Keep your emotions in check as much as possible. Don't tell them anything about yourself, even if it's just a sliver of what's on your mind. Protect yourself and your loved ones by keeping that private. The Bible warns us not to cast our pearls before swine. The best way to put a narcissist in their place is to give them no power. You have to show them that you don't mind when they do something you don't like. None of their passive-aggressive behavior is going to hurt you, and you won't be able to be tricked by them, especially if they're trying to be mean to you. When a narcissist can't do anything to you, they're put in their place. Being non-reactive alone is enough to convey your message that you know what they're up to. You are not even remotely care about what they're doing. They don't have the slightest semblance of significance in your life. Nothing piques your interest or causes you to react. The less they have anything to use against you, the less you will have to worry about them doing things meant to annoy, bother, or hurt you frequently. The more attention they receive, the more games they engage in. So when they have no attention, there's no game to play. For a narcissist, any attention is better than no attention, so don't give them any, even for negative attention. Don't do anything and you'll be fine. 2. Remove that rose-colored glasses and get rid of all expectations when it comes to a narcissist. There is a price to pay for this, and you need to be completely, brutally honest. You have to be honest with yourself and have an idea of what to expect from the people and things you're dealing with to be effective. You're less likely to be surprised and caught off guard if you don't expect them to be good, kind, honest, and truly loving people, but who they've already shown you they are. As a result, you're automatically endowed with a level of authority and sturdiness. It is common for empaths to see the good and kind qualities in others, no matter how bad people might behave. However, never expect that to happen to narcissists. Please pay attention to their actions rather than their words. A person's words are easy to say, but can they back up what they say with predictable actions? Red flags shouldn't be ignored. Let yourself know the truth about what you're experiencing instead of lying to yourself about how you're feeling. In other words, when you see through their lies and tricks and their false sense of superiority, when you see through their fake front, they realize they've got you covered and know you're not going to be fooled any longer. Because you can see everything so clearly, bringing them down a level or two. Instead of being thrown off balance by their presence, you're doing it yourself by simply being a beacon of truth and good judgment in your field. That's the strongest thing there is. Instead of denying reality and wishing for magic, remove your rose-colored glasses and begin the journey toward radical self-honesty and acceptance. For one thing, this is what's true. People who are narcissists don't change their ways. 3. the value of silence is true, especially when dealing with a narcissist. Narcissists can't be put out of their misery faster than by pretending they're dead to you. Make no effort to help them out. There isn't a single word. Your lack of response suggests that you are unconcerned about anything. And your silence and indifference tell them more clearly than anything else that you're not a good target or someone they can play with and get away with it. Keep an eye out for people who treat others with contempt and a lack of respect because they are trying to trick or manipulate you. They'll do the same if you turn your back on them. The less you interact with them, the better off you'll be. 4. Don't be fooled by their gaslighting tactic. A manipulative tactic used by narcissists is called gaslighting, and it is used to make someone doubt their sanity. If you let them get away with it, it can cause you to go completely insane. It's used to invalidate, confuse, destabilize, and discredit you. Remember this, you're well aware of the actions you take. You remain true to yourself when you don't allow yourself to be deceived. Even if the narcissist tells you otherwise, you stick to your guns. Nobody has the right to dismiss you or your life experiences. However, you don't have to argue with the narcissist to win the impossible fight. Do not waste your precious time or vital life force energy trying to convince them otherwise. It's a fact that you're doomed to failure. Narcissists fully know their intentions, so trying to convince them what you believe is true is just impossible. Don't fight back when a narcissist tries to convince you of something that isn't true. Instead of rambling on and on, say one-word answers, which are usually sufficient to convey your thoughts. Silence followed an "oh" or "okay," for example. Keep your mouth shut. Stand up for yourself when necessary, but do so in a calculated manner. Remember, stay non-reactive. Avoid mind-numbing, never-ending, circular debates and arguments by picking your battles wisely. When dealing with a narcissist, remember that the fewer words you use, the better. Avoid giving them what they desire. "That didn't happen," "I never said that," or "I never did that" are examples of people lying when they say these things. Say "oh" or "och" and give them a look to let them know you get it. Stay quiet then. That will have a far greater impact than anything else you say. Furthermore, it's crystal clear what you're trying to say. It's like you're saying, "Your nonsense has no traction with me." In other words, we're both on the same page about it. This is all we need to know about what you did or didn't do and what you said or didn't say. Keep in mind that by remaining steadfast, you can negate their influence. 5. Please make a note of everything. When dealing with narcissists, it's imperative to keep meticulous notes. When it comes to black and white, there isn't much you can say. It's difficult to claim that you said something that you didn't say when everything is written down. Keep copies of everything you send or receive, including text messages, emails, and letters. You may never need it, but if you do, you'll be happy you have it. As a result, it's important to keep track of everything. When it comes to a narcissist, the proof will speak on its own. You don't need words because it only causes unnecessary drama. 6. Be true to who you are, no matter how bitter it is. The narcissist is completely out of their depth if you don't allow negative energy to change you and instead remain happy, loving, and kind. The toxic people in your life are clueless about how to interact with someone who is sincere and loving. Stay as you are and let them as they are. Nothing changes. Sooner or later, they'll be exposed for what they are by someone with integrity. Narcissists tend to be the opposite of those who can and will. As such, they don't expect them to be anything but selfish. Focusing on yourself and taking the steps necessary to live your best life are all required. Let your good deeds, good intentions, and good character speak for themselves in the world. If that's your primary objective, I assure you it will be heard clearly. Don't forget to give this video a like if you found it useful. If you have any views or experiences to share, please do so in the comment section below. And for future updates, please consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell button below. Thank you so much for listening to what I had to say. These things will happen when you reject a covert narcissist sexually. There are many qualities that are common between covert narcissists and classic narcissists, such as an exaggerated sense of self-importance and a lack of empathy. However, covert narcissists don't express these characteristics in overt ways. They're mostly passive. Covert narcissism is often referred to as vulnerable narcissism or hypersensitive narcissism, since their grandiosity is often disguised as insecurity. The reason for this is that their arrogance is disguised as a sense of vulnerability. Covert narcissists tend to overestimate their own significance, believing that their pain is more important than the suffering of others. There is a chance that they believe they're a person who suffers the most, a genius who is misunderstood, or a person who is ugly compared to others. However, this isn't true at all, because when compared to the rest of the world, their pain is considered to be on the lower end of the scale. However, they expect people to understand the extent of their injuries and the pain they're experiencing. Their default mode is fight or flight, but they almost never opt for flight mode, which means that being rejected is an offense and an attack in their eyes. And because they're so manipulative, they assume that everyone else is as cunning and manipulative as they are. When you stop and think about it, if someone habitually lies and gets away with it, they're going to assume that everyone else is lying as well and that they cannot trust them. It's their self-fulfilling delusion that they employ to justify their compulsive lying. So, what's going to happen if you reject a covert narcissist sexually? In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 things that might possibly happen. But before I get into that, I just wanted to start off by expressing my appreciation to everyone who took the time to watch this video. I'd like to send you an invitation to contribute to the growth of this channel by forwarding this video to any of your friends or family members. Please subscribe to this channel if this is your first time here, so that you don't miss out on any future updates that you might find interesting. Let's begin. 1. Defense. Covert narcissists often go into defensive mode as soon as they're rejected for something, whether it's a job or a romantic relationship or some other type of relationship. They have a tendency to behave as though they suddenly consider the person who rejected them as beneath them, inferior, and something that they weren't genuinely interested in to begin with. If the narcissist doesn't immediately see their rejecter as all terrible or below them, they will certainly feel extreme shame, embarrassment, and self-loathing, which is why they do this to comfort themselves. They're able to avoid experiencing the negative emotions they would otherwise feel. However, their pile-up insecurities are still there somewhere inside them, making them even more miserable because they keep denying their reality. 2. They experience narcissistic injury. According to persons who suffer from an excessive narcissistic personality disorder, the other typical reaction is to feel shame, self-loathing, and humiliation from what appears to be an extremely severe narcissistic injury. People with NPD often respond in this way. The rejection has left them feeling like a worthless pieces of trash, no matter how great they felt about themselves before the rejection. They have a hard time keeping any kind of thing in place. Assuming that the rejection comes from a person or organization that they felt important to them, the pain would be even more unbearable. They may even resort to self-harm or threaten the person who rejects them that they'll do extreme and dangerous things like suicide if they keep getting rejected. 3. They suddenly idealize the rejecter. Covert narcissists are more likely to have this type of response when it comes to romantic rejection. Let's say a covert narcissist shows some serious affection to a beautiful woman who refuses to go out with him. Although he didn't know her very well, her status in his view soared, and the fact that she rejected him only served to enhance his romantic ideals. He continued to shower her with gifts and treated her as if she were a perfect person he had to win over. As it turns out, this wasn't about the woman at all. Rather, it was about his perception that she was higher on the narcissistic social ladder because she rejected him. If he could win her, he thought, he'd feel better about himself since his standing would grow as a result, even temporarily. The gist of it is that, in the event of rejection, people with a narcissistic personality disorder may react in many ways, depending on the circumstances at hand. People tend to condemn the person who rejected them, criticize themselves emotionally, or idealize the person who rejected them as a result of these responses. I sincerely hope that this brief explanation was enlightening to you. Please share your opinions in the comment section below, and if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of the new videos that are uploaded to this channel in the future, consider subscribing and make sure that the bell icon is turned on. Thank you. What happens when a narcissist collapses? exposing the narcissist fears. Narcissists are notorious for causing emotional distress to the people around them. They can be warm and affectionate one minute, then abrupt and unkind the next, and even cruel after that. The question now is, how can you tell that you have triggered the narcissist? Because every narcissist is unique, it is impossible to provide a single response to this topic. There are, however, indications that a narcissist has collapsed as a whole in this context. For instance, they might cease talking to you entirely or stop responding to your phone calls, texts, and other communications with them. They might also gossip about you to other people, or even worse, they might publish negative things about you online. In the narcissist's mind, for any misbehavior on their part, no matter how horrible it is, you shouldn't make it big and just accept them as the way it is. For someone who fears being abandoned, it can come as a shock when their partner has even the slightest idea to leave them. It's also possible that certain situations can cause narcissists' abandonment issues to come again, which can result in them being irrationally angry, or the opposite, behaving normally and lovingly bombing you to persuade you that you will not leave them. I just want to say that the narcissist's illogical fear of being abandoned might be triggered by simple events in daily life. Before we get serious on this topic, I'd like to say hello and thanks to everyone who has taken the time to watch this video. This channel exists to shed light on narcissists. If you're a regular viewer, I want you to know how grateful I am for your support and how much I hope my videos will continue to be helpful to you. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and being a part of this channel's family. Narcissists' greatest fear is the dread of being abandoned, and today, I'm going to talk about the things that could trigger this situation. Abandonment is the state of being left behind or abandoned, both of which can leave a person feeling hopeless. Narcissists are constantly afraid of being abandoned. The concern that they're not worthy of love or that they're not good enough is fueled by this. Therefore, they'll try their best to keep the situation in their favor. When that doesn't work, they resort to further lies, plots, and manipulations to prevent it from happening. Using and abusing people, they do this while secretly believing that no one will ever notice. An excellent example of this is when we no longer respond to or show affection for the narcissist. This causes warning bells to go off in their heads. Narcissists will try to prevent you from quitting the relationship when they recognize that you no longer care about them or the relationship. This is because the narcissist always prefers to be the one to get rid of undesired items. They don't care how much damage they inflict on you, but they don't want you to impose the same harm on them either. As the narcissist's fear of abandonment is brought to the surface, the narcissist may either become enraged or resort to love bombing you to deal with the situation. In other words, this is one of the triggers. It's all down to which response they think will be the most effective. If they know you're scared of them, they're more inclined to act aggressively because it's worked for them in the past. Instead of love bombing you, they'll switch tactics if they realize this is working on you. Some of them would try a different strategy if the first proved ineffective. In any case, the narcissist will never forgive you or let you off the hook for triggering their fear of being abandoned. You may be sure that the narcissist will look for new and inventive methods to harm you. In most cases, this happens unexpectedly, either through smearing or dismissal. Another trigger for narcissists is being made to wait, but this one is often overlooked. Situations where you don't answer their phone calls and texts are included in this category. Let's say you're running late for a scheduled meeting because you forgot to make arrangements with someone else, or when they expect you to execute a task for them, but you're taking excessive time to do it. The narcissist may feel triggered, nervous, afraid, or engaged in these situations. The instant response of some narcissists is to avoid having to wait by either not being there when you arrive or by blocking your contact, preventing you from getting in touch with them and making you panic. They hope that you'll chase after them back and feel forced to make up for what you've done. I know a narcissist who refuses to stay for more than a few minutes during my visit. When I got there, they weren't there, so I had to phone them to find out where they were. And then we had to find another place to meet. Whether or not they would have waited for anyone else depends on how much they're trying to impress that person. It all comes down to whether or not they're attempting to impress you, not because they enjoy having to wait. Even if they don't make a big deal out of it, a narcissist will find a method to penalize you if you keep them waiting, probably later when they get more grasp on you. This is the case even if they don't want to make a big deal out of it. It's common for narcissists to suffer from paranoia, and they believe that we purposely delay them, which in turn increases their worry. Consequently, they see their behavior as justifiable when penalizing and holding us accountable for our actions. A narcissist's biggest nightmare comes true when we ultimately decide to ignore or dismiss them. Depending on your role in their lives, the consequences might be disastrous for the narcissist. One of a narcissist's worst nightmares is realized when we ultimately decide to ignore or abandon them. While narcissists are scared that they will be left, they're unwilling to put in the effort required for this concern. Or it appears they have no idea that the way they're doing things isn't the most efficient way to go about things. Narcissists always feel that their actions should be completely unrestricted and that they shouldn't face any consequences whatsoever. The narcissist may become irrationally enraged if you take too long to respond to a text message or fail to notice something the narcissist has posted on social media. Because of their paranoia and belief that your acts are deliberate, even though you may have a legitimate justification. These things set off their abandonment concerns, exacerbating their already severe abandonment issues. Narcissists can be difficult to deal with because they tend to be passive-aggressive, and coping with a covert narcissist can be even more unpleasant. After all, you may not realize that they have already started to lash back and punish us. But nothing goes undetected in the world of narcissists, and I'll be doing my best to provide as much information as possible. If you're still curious, you can view other videos about this on this channel. I'd also like to hear about your encounters with narcissists' reactions when you were late, didn't respond to a text message, or didn't return a missed phone call. Let me know what you've been up to in the comment section below. This will be our only topic for the day. Consider subscribing to our channel and click the bell icon to be notified of our subsequent videos. Thank you. When a narcissist is jealous of what you have, they'll do this. Narcissists will say and do things to make you feel as if you are a part of their own self-centered worldview. This will give you the impression that you are important to the narcissist. However, because they have low self-esteem, they will try everything in their power to make you feel as though you are less of a person than you actually are. When they complain about other people, they are usually just telling on themselves. Everything that a narcissist acts, says, or thinks is a reflection of the state of mind that they are in at any given moment. And the only way for them to feel better is if the people they are with are feeling at least as awful as they are. This is the only way that they can feel better. They want to feel superior to others, so it is in their best interest to make you feel inferior to them. Don't forget, misery likes company. Nonetheless, misery wants to feel like a winner. Envy arises when you witness someone else enjoying an advantage, and you are unable to partake in it yourself. Anyone, not just a narcissist, can be envious and resentful toward another person. However, narcissists are famously uncontrollable when it comes to jealousy. It's a proven fact that feeling jealous might put one's safety at risk. Someone who is envious of your possessions may betray or damage you because they can't stand seeing you possess anything that they don't. Envy can lead to hateful sentiments and actions such as slander, lying, gossiping, cheating, stealing, or even murder. Knowing how to spot the telltale signs of someone's jealousy and avoiding them is critical when dealing with a narcissist, for example. First thing first, everyone who has seen my video and given it a thumbs up is greatly appreciated. Sincerely, thank you. I'd also recommend subscribing to this channel and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any of the new videos that are posted. Let's keep going. When you're dealing with narcissists, jealousy can be downright terrifying. So we'll talk about it today and find out what we can do to defend ourselves. You can tell if someone is jealous of your accomplishments by looking for a variety of telltale indications. Look for them if this is the case. Even if you don't fall prey to one of these manipulative individuals, failing to recognize the warning signs and behaviors of a covert narcissist can lead to a slew of undesirable outcomes. One thing to keep in mind is that envy is not simply a feeling that narcissists experience, but also a state that they are always in. It is impossible for them to modify their ways or their feelings toward you because they lack empathy. They are willing to do whatever it takes to acquire what they want. Nothing will be able to halt them now. As a result, they push themselves to achieve more than their peers. Narcissists are miserable due to jealousy, and they see everyone around them as a threat because of it. Thus, they will do all they can to get you down so that they can climb the ladder of success faster. They don't give a damn if it's a parent, child, friend, lover, or anyone else. Everybody is at risk from someone who only cares about their own image, wealth, and power at the expense of the people around them. Narcissists seek out connections with people they pretend to love in order to retain their identity. When it comes to romance, friendship, or even a business alliance, anything is possible. At the beginning of a romantic relationship, the narcissist is said to love bomb the people whom they adore the most. It is no secret that narcissists are attracted to those who exhibit the characteristics they seek in a partner. Not to be cherished, though, only to be exploited. Narcissists are drawn to those who share their beliefs and personality traits. This is why one of the first things someone who is jealous of you does is appear to have an uncommon or high level of interest in you. Narcissists use this tactic to keep their enemies close by making it appear as if they are interested in them. While being close to you, they'll do everything they can to look into your past, your weaknesses, and everything they can use against you. Their goal is to spend as much time with you as possible. Therefore, they'll do everything they can to get close to you. You'll be the center of their attention. The problem is that because it's too unreal, you'll feel uneasy or uncomfortable while they're around. Always be on the lookout for trouble if you have this sensation. It is imperative that you must rely on your intuition. As soon as they're with you, they'll start praising or complimenting you on some aspect of your personality that they find endearing. So, when you notice something is amiss, you should avoid them immediately. Another option is to publicly state that they envy your situation, either in jest or out of true desire. You can also expect a deluge of praise and admiration in the wake of your success. The goal of a narcissist is to make people feel good about themselves in order to let their guard down. Stay cautious with this. People who lavish you with unwarranted or dishonest praise should be avoided, since they may be hiding something. Another important indicator to keep a watch out for is their microexpressions, which can be short-lived but can be quite revealing. If someone else has achieved success, narcissists are jealous of them, and that makes them angry. When they hear good news about someone else, they may scowl or grimace for a few seconds before trying to put on a phony smile. Look for a sour look when they think no one is looking at them. Jealousy is a powerful emotion that can lead anyone to engage in malicious talk. The narcissist will discredit you no matter how close you are to them. Because they are sad and wish to spread their misery to others, these people continuously speak poorly about you. Prepare yourself, expecting the narcissist to begin staring at you and spreading tales about you to avoid this. If they are jealous of you, they are more likely to try to get involved with you and whatever activities you engage in. They're scouring the group for any information they can get about you. There is a lot of interest in finding out what you're good at, your weakness, and everything they can use against you. They want all you have, whether it's to make a buck off of you or to eliminate you for good. Narcissists prioritize their own interests over those of others while making decisions. As a result, they'll do whatever it takes to ruin your life as fast as possible. Always remember that the narcissist is only interested in you because you provide them with what they want in life. A narcissist may like your self-assurance, independence, and attitude more than your physical attractiveness. More than that, they always try to rob you of your possessions. The narcissist will do all in their power to remove these important aspects of your identity from you in order to diminish your sense of self-worth. In the eyes of the narcissist, there is no regret for abandoning you. After they've taken everything you have, they won't even look at you again. When it comes to people and relationships, they just care about one thing: obtaining all the resources they can from others. They can do things you've never even contemplated, and they won't feel any guilt or shame about it. These warning signals must be recognized, and countermeasures must be taken to prevent falling victim to a narcissist. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them in the comment section below. Please subscribe to this channel and enable the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos that are added. Sincerely, thank you for your attention.